Okay guys, how is it going? And today we are going to be putting the valves into the head. Now, as you can see, I've already done the exhaust side valves. So what I need to do now is the intake side. Basically, I'm just going to flip the head over and I'm going to be lapping the valves as well, so you can see how to do that. And then putting obviously the springs and that back in. Using my little special tool that if you watched my video of taking these out, you would have seen. And yeah, that is it. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so the first thing we're going to be doing is lapping the valves. Now this is sort of the way I've been doing it. I've been putting the valves in, lapping them, and then putting in the stem seals, because it's just seemed to work quite well for me doing that way. So the reason why we're going to be lapping these valves is basically just to make sure that there's an airtight fit around the valve and the actual seat itself. In like an actual machine shop, they'd grind these to get a better fit, but then they would also then lap them afterwards. Because what you don't want is any sort of leakage of water and oil, really. We need to make sure that these are a tight fit. So now what we're going to do is, well, these valves, the exhaust ones are a little bit worse, but the inlet ones seem to be a lot better. So I'm only actually going to use the fine grit on this one. Now the lapping is actually really simple itself. I just bought a kit off of eBay. I think it was less than £10, and it comes with the grinding compound, a fine and a coarse one. And then just these two suction things here, and that was sort of like less than £10. So what we're going to do is I just need to grab a little screwdriver, which I did have one before. So I'm just going to open up this end. I'm just going to get some of this out and then just put it around this beveled edge here, sort of like that. That should be more than enough. Just place it into the guide there, put it down. Now you might want to put a little bit of lubricant, like a bit of engine oil or assembly lube, onto the valve, just to help maybe ease it in there. Then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to wipe some of that excess stuff off so this sticks better. Yeah, and then what I'm just going to do is just start grinding. Yeah, so what I like to do there is just rotate it 180 degrees after a while when it starts to sort of stop making that grinding noise. So I'll just pick it up again, go 180, put it down, just start going again. Then it doesn't need a lot, and then we're just going to pull it out. See, we've got a nice grey ring around there. Looks like it's seating quite well actually. And then I'm just going to wipe that off with a nice clean-ish rag. Yeah, you can see we've got a nice grey ring around the whole of the beveled area. And also got one inside of the head. Now, it did already have this sort of before, so you know, you can compare it. It's slightly, you can see this has ground weight just a little bit more than that. Yeah, and then once that one's done, now I'm just going to slide that one back into there so I know it's done, and then I'm going to move on and do the rest. Okay, so that is the last valve lapped, and it's all back together. What I'm going to quickly do now is just get a cleanish cloth. Just going to spray a little bit of brake cleaner on it and just wipe over this, because what I'm going to do now is flip it over. Yeah, flip it over, and obviously if I flip it over, the valve's going to end up falling out. So what I'm going to do instead is get some masking tape and just run it over these like this. Now it's a bit cold, so I don't know how well that masking tape is going to hold, so I'm just going to whack another one over. So now what I'm going to do is just flip the head over. I'm just going to make sure the work surface beneath it is clean. Obviously I've laid down some paper there, because I don't want to go and be damaging the block that's already been skimmed. But I mean, it should only put light scratches in it, I guess. Okay, so as we're going to be applying some pressure to the head, I've put it on this nice, well, I say nice, an old Maguire's drying towel. So it's nice and plush, nice and warm and cozy for this thing to sit on. And yeah, let's get into putting in the valve stems. Now, I am going to be, well, valve stem seals. Now, I'm going to be missing one of these, basically because when I was doing this side, I messed it up a bit, and I had to take one off again. Now, it's not going to be too much of an issue for me, purely because that kit, this kit, actually came out of my old head, not my old head gasket, but the head gasket kit I got with when I done my M50. The reason I didn't use those ones was because before I actually bought the gasket kit, Hack Engineering had already replaced my stem seals, so I just got some spare ones with it. I haven't ordered my new gasket kit for this one yet, so once that arrives, I'll just use the one that come out of there. So yeah, it's no issue. Right, let's have a look. So I am filming this on my GoPro today, so hopefully it won't be too bad. It's kind of nice. I just wanted to try see what it's like shooting in 4K on it, and whether it's okay for doing sort of stuff like this, because my other camera doesn't have autofocus, and it's kind of annoying having to keep set it up. So probably don't want to get all of these out. Anyway, what I like to do, because I feel like this saves time, is we have these little Jimmy hat things that go over them, which protect the seal from when you push it first over the valve. So it comes with a few in the little bag. So basically I just put on as many as I can. I think there's 6 or 8. Yeah, there's 8. What I'm going to do is get the valve stem seal and slide that over the top. Cool, and then if I just hold down on the seal, you can usually pull that off. I'm just going to put those on the other ones, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put all the last 3 seals that I have left on, so I don't end up losing them or get damaged, because they're a lot safer on the, well, already on the valve than they are sitting on the edge of the workbench. Now, I haven't overly looked into this, whether you can get a tool or what for it, but I've just found getting an 11mm socket, which is the same size as the nuts on here, and just carefully putting it over the top, and it sort of sits on there really nicely, just to make sure it's all straight and lined up, and then just tap it on. Yeah, and you can sort of hear when it's touching. I mean, you can see it anyway, but you can notice a change in tone of when you're hitting it with the taps. Like I say, there's probably a tool for this, but this doesn't seem to be doing any damage to them. If you really wanted to be safe, you could sort of bore it out a bit. But yeah, all the springs around the actual seals seem fine. Right, so now what we're going to be doing is, well, as you can see, I've got all the springs and that back on. We're going to be reapplying these little keepers. I'll get them out of the bag so you can see them a lot better. But I mean, if you're at this stage and you're watching this because you're putting yours back together, you already know what they look like. Now, this tool I made in another video. It's basically just a few bits of metal put together, welded together, and then some holes cut and drilled and that. So basically all I need to do is just place that over there. I actually widened the holes from last time to make it a little bit easier putting the keepers back in. We just start those on there. Then with that 11mm socket again, just going to start doing these up. I like to do a few sort of turns aside each time. Now, that looks like we've got enough clearance. So yeah, these are the keepers. As you can see, they are tapered. So the fat bit goes to the top and the bottom bit points to the bottom. And then they just have like these little grooves in here which just line up to the top of the valves. This bit is a little bit fiddly, but it's just a case of getting them in there, lining them up. Not like that at all. And what I've just been using is a little screwdriver, a little flathead, to line it up like that. And then once you sort of got one side on, I like to keep it on there, spin it round, because so long this thing's a little bit magnetic. I think it'd be easier if it wasn't. It's a lot easier to put them on this side where it's opened. Right. So yeah, Let's get that one in this time. There we are, that's a little bit better. Line them up. Close them in. Now, obviously, this tool's made so I can do 2 at a time, so I'm just going to put the other ones in on this side. Right, so now they're all together. Once again, just like a few, like quarter turns at a time. Just going to bring it out. And luckily, where they're tapered, it sort of helps it, even if they're in like the rough sort of place, it helps them locate them, and then they're in there. And what's nice is where that's now stopped there, you ain't got to worry about the spring loading it up and firing the tool at your face when you undo the nuts. So yeah, that's those done. I'm going to carry on and do the rest, and we'll pick up once I've done that. So guys, as you can see, I've now got all of them in except for that one. It's not a really long process. I mean, obviously you can see from when I was lapping the valves, when I just showed you the one, that really didn't take any time at all, probably about half an hour to lap all of the valves. And then, I don't know, because some of these were a little bit fiddly, some of them went on easier, probably like another half an hour, 45 minute putting all these on. So it really isn't a long job. Now, what we can do is, I'm going to place this down for a second, is we can flip the head over. I'm going to take this staff off, find the right bolts, or find the right bolts, or get a spark plug, wang these in like this. Yeah, so we plug up these holes with the spark plugs, and then what we can do is obviously get in some clean water. You just pour these in, and we can leave that a little while. And what this is going to do is show if there is leaking in it. Obviously, this isn't like an amazing test because obviously water particles are thicker than air, so it might leak air. But I mean, you can still do a leak down test once the engine's then in the car. But this is a good little way just to test beforehand. And then what you just need to do is look down into the combustion chambers. Yeah. So I could probably do with a light here. Don't worry, I've got one. And then just, I mean, you might want to leave this a little while, but you can see if there's any water leaking in. Obviously, we can't see any at the moment, but like I say, this could take a little bit longer. Obviously, we've got the water sitting up there still. It's kind of cool, actually. Like, some of them, that one's sort of sitting flush, but these ones are sort of just standing over, like a millimetre. I'm going to leave those for now, just for a little while, see if anything leaks through. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully it's like a little bit more of a short one, and hopefully the quality's all right, because I've been using my GoPro because it shoots in 4K and it's a little bit easier. Well, I've already explained this, but it's a little bit easier to move around and shoot. So it's actually made the whole process of this a lot quicker for me. I'm gonna, once I've got enough done on my car, I'm gonna buy another camera, one of the smaller mirrorless ones, so it's a little bit easier with autofocus and that, but you don't care about that. Yeah, so that's it. Like I say, it's a quick job, easy job. I don't know what else to say. Go watch some of my other videos maybe, I don't know. See you later. Yeah.